Let's dive in. I'm going to invite you to take a comfortable seated position at the center of your mat. Just cross your legs or sit up tall on your knees. Reach the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. Roll the shoulders down and away from your ears. On your next inhale, begin to stack your vertebrae one on top of the other, following the natural curvature of your spine. Aligning the shoulders over the hips, ears over the shoulders. Tuck your chin half an inch to bring your cervical spine, your neck, into a neutral position as well. Close your eyes. Deepen your breath. Breathe nice and deep into the low belly. Feel the belly expand with every inhale. As you exhale, draw the navel a few inches closer to the spine. We're just going to breathe in this way, nice, slow, gentle, even pace. Tuning into ourselves, dropping into our body. Taking this time to center before we dive into our practice tonight. It's a full moon portal. So if you'd like, you can go ahead and make the most of this full moon energy, setting your intention for your practice tonight, whatever that might be. We're going to move a little, get our bodies nice and warm, and then we're going to spend a good amount of time in yin postures, just really tuning in, letting our bodies process. Continuing with your deep belly breaths. Trying to make that breath even, counting in, even counting out. And just making a mental note of the pace of your breath at the start of the practice. Maybe this is your intention for tonight, to keep your breath at this pace throughout. We're going to gently blink our eyes open, roll over into a tabletop position, make your way into a child's pose. Knees nice and wide, big toes to touch, walk your hands forward, bring your forehead down onto the mat. Continuing with the breath, letting the belly expand into the space between your thighs with every inhale. Your navel draws a few inches closer to the spine as you exhale. Continue to breathe. As you inhale, press nice and firmly into all 10 finger pads, into the palms, reaching that back body nice and long. As you exhale, see if you can bring your sit bones a little bit closer towards your heels. Again, continue to breathe. On your next inhale, we're going to rise on up, come into a tabletop position. Find your alignment, shoulders over your wrists, hips over the knees. Let's just do some spinal strengthening, some core work to warm us up. Grounding in through the left hand and the right knee. With an inhale, we're going to reach the right hand forward, left heel back. Engage the core. Find that stillness. Take one more inhale to lengthen. As you exhale, squeeze. Find that contact. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze, 2 more. Inhale 1 more time. Exhale, bring everything to the side. Inhale, back to center, and float it all down. Repeat on the other side. Inhale, lengthen the left hand forward, right heel back. Draw that right hip down so your hips are square to the ground. Engage the core to find that stillness. Take an inhale to lengthen. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze. Again, we're doing 5 on this side. Inhale 1 more time. Exhale, everything to the side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, float it down. Bring your right hand into the center line. We're gonna keep our hips nice and high over the knees. With an inhale, we're gonna bring the left fingertips up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, draw that left hand through under your body, left ear and left shoulder down onto the mat. Again, 5 of these, moving with the pace of your breath. Maybe speeding that breath up slightly just to build a little bit more heat. Nice big motions. Trying to find that full rotation from the base of your spine. Completing your 5 here. And then switching up the hands and repeating on the other side. To your own count of 5. Big inhales, full exhales. Finding that rotation from the base of the spine. Reaching under and drawing the right ear and right shoulder down onto the mat. And when you're done your 5, just coming back into that tabletop position. We're gonna do 1 more spinal warm up. We're just gonna move into some cat-cow. So with an inhale, we're gonna drop our belly, bring our gaze up towards the ceiling, tip the tailbone up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone, bring your gaze between your knees, round your spine. Inhales and exhales. We're gonna be here for just under a minute, moving with the pace of your breath. As you're exhaling into the cat, make sure you're grounding nice and firmly through the palms. Press nice and firmly through the hands to find that space between the shoulder blades behind you. See how that feels. Halfway there. Let's do 2 more at your own pace. And then making your way back into a neutral spine. We're gonna roll over our toes and rise on up into our first downward dog of tonight. You can alternate bending each knee to limber up. Do whatever you need to do to find that deep extension along the back side of the legs. And to find that extension from the base of your spine up through to your wrists. 2 straight lines. Pike your sit bones up as high as you can towards the ceiling. Slowly begin to draw your ankles down towards the ground. They don't need to touch, but shift some of that weight away from the toes of your feet and bring it into the heels of your feet. Even if you're a few inches off of your mat. And feel that deeper extension along the back of your legs. Let your head hang. And breathe. Take an inhale. Let's bring our weight forward into a high plank. Option here to drop your knees if you want to focus on form. Or you can keep your knees hovering up if you want to build a little bit more heat. Take an inhale here in your high plank. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga, elbows nice and tight to your body. Again, drop your knees if you'd like. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Roll over the toes, press on in. We're going to speed that up. We're going to do that 3 more times. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Take an inhale, left heel into the sky. Bend that knee. Come into your 3-legged dog, stacking that left hip over the right. Breathe. 1 more inhale. As you exhale, draw the hip back down. Keep the left foot at hover. Come forward into your high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Lower that foot. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Take a breath. Inhale, right heel up. Bend at the knee. Stack that right hip over the left in your 3-legged dog, second side. Breathe. Take 1 more big inhale here. As you exhale, draw that foot back down, hover that right foot. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Float that foot down. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Breathe. Take an inhale here. Bring your gaze between your hands as you exhale. Hop or step to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Arms up overhead. Interlock your fingers. Release your pointer finger. Roll the shoulders down and away from your ears. Big toes touching. Heels an inch apart. Take an inhale to lengthen. As you exhale, hinge over towards the right, coming into your crescent moon. Roll that left shoulder open so that your chest is square to the front of your mat. Straighten the arms as much as you can. Draw the wrists together. Find the length with every inhale along your spine. As you exhale, see if you can come down a little bit deeper. Grounding down through the left side of your left foot. Keeping some length along the right rib cage and right torso. Breathe. Inhale, come on back to center. Exhale, hinge over towards the left. Again, rolling that right shoulder open, keeping the chest square to the front, grounding in through the right side of the foot. Keeping that length along the left side of your torso. As you exhale, see if you can come down a little bit deeper. Breathe. Inhale, come on back up. As you exhale, release your hands, lower them down so that they're at shoulder height. Activate your entire arms, squeeze your fingers together or spread them nice and wide. Pivot your feet so that they're hip distance apart. Take an inhale to lengthen. As you exhale, sit down nice and low. Knees at 90, pretend there's a chair behind you. You can lift up your toes even, just to test that your weight is nice and solid into the heels of your feet. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, see if you can come down a little bit deeper. Continue to breathe. Inhale, come all the way up, nice and high onto your tiptoes, grounding in through the ball of your foot, trying to build some strength in that ankle joint. Option to begin bending your knees, keeping your shoulders stacked over your hips, keeping those heels aligned nice and high over the ball of your feet. Tracking the knees at hip distance apart so they're not coming out or in. Engage your core to find the stillness. Continue to find that balance with your breath. Next, inhale, come all the way up, arms up overhead. As you exhale, slowly lower down. Bring your big toes back together, an inch of space between your heels. Grounding in through your feet. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift, straighten the spine. Exhale, plant your hands, find your high plank. Take an inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Breathe. Inhale, right heel up towards the sky. As you exhale, bring the knee towards the nose. Take a big step between your hands. Come up onto the ball of the left foot. Engage the core. Rise on up. Runner's lunge. One plane of motion from the crown of your head to the heel of the left foot. You want your torso at about 45 degrees off of that right thigh. Palms facing down. Inward rotation of the thighs here. So pretend like you're trying to draw your feet towards each other, squaring off the hips, bringing that left hip a little bit forward. Really ground in through the ball of that left foot and bring the back of the left knee up towards the ceiling, straightening that leg. Inhale, keep your legs where they are. Just rise on up into your crescent lunge. Arms up overhead, parallel to your ears. Tuck that tailbone slightly. Again, draw that left hip forward so that your hips are square to the front of your mat. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, forward fold, plant your hands. Let's flow it out. High plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Breathe. Take an inhale, left heel up to the sky. As you exhale, draw that knee towards the nose, big step between your hands. Come up high onto the ball of the right foot. Engage the core, rise on up, runner's lunge, second side. Again, one plane of motion from the crown of the head to the heel of the right foot. Really ground in through the ball of that right foot. Work on drawing that right hip forward so that your hips are square to the front of the mat. Inhale, rise on up with your arms, crescent lunge, second side. Really work on drawing that right hip forward. Straighten that back leg. Take one more inhale here. Feel the lightness in the torso, top part of your body. As you exhale, feel your legs nice and grounded into your mat. One more inhale here. As you exhale, float your hands back to your mat, high plank. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Good. Bring your gaze between your hands as you exhale, hop or step to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up with your arms. Beautiful. Hands to heart center. Grounding through your feet. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, find that high plank. Take a breath. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Good. Inhale, right heel up towards the sky. As you exhale, bring that right knee to the nose. Take that big step between your hands. Stay high up onto the ball of that left foot. Engage your core, rise all the way up into your crescent lunge this time. Arms up overhead, parallel to your ears. Draw that left hip forward. Take an inhale. As you exhale, we're going to turn ourselves to the left, coming into a warrior two, planting that back heel so that the left foot is parallel to the back of your mat. Take an inhale to lengthen the spine, aligning the shoulders over the hips. As you exhale, come down a little bit deeper into your lunge. And breathe. Feel that outward rotation of the left hip, inward rotation of the front hip. One straight line from middle finger to middle finger. Continue to breathe. One more inhale in your warrior two. As you exhale, we're going to bring the right forearm to the right leg. Reach the left fingertips all the way overhead into your extended side angle. Breathe nice and deep into the left side of your body. Draw that left shoulder open so that you can bring your chest up towards the ceiling. And breathe. Take an inhale, engage the core, rise on up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, drop the back arm, reach the right fingertips up and overhead into your gentle warrior. Breathe nice and deep into the right side of your torso now. Roll that right shoulder open, bring your gaze towards the ceiling, chest towards the ceiling. Inhale, rise on up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten that front knee. As you exhale, bring those right fingertips forward a few inches, hinge at the hip, come into your Trikonasana triangle pose. Trying to keep that spine as straight as possible from the base of your spine up to the crown of your head. Try to tuck that left rib cage back in. Find the length along the right side of your torso. Try to stack that left shoulder over the right. And breathe. Take an inhale, engage the core, come on back up, find the warrior two again as you exhale. Good, inhale, straighten that front knee, bring your hands to your hips. We're just gonna pivot our feet so that we're coming forward into a straddle. Even pigeon toe your toes a little bit so that your toes are slightly pointed more inwards than parallel to the sides of your mat. Take an inhale to lengthen the spine. As you exhale, hinge at the hips, keeping a straight spine. Forward fold. You can release your hips, bring your fingertips down onto your mat. You can bend your elbows and come a little bit deeper if that's available to you. Trying to keep that spine as straight as possible. So keep your gaze down towards the ground as opposed to behind you. And try to keep that chest leading the forward fold. One more inhale here as you exhale. See if you can come down a little bit deeper. And then you can gently begin to relax. So drop your head, bring the crown of your head to point towards the ground. Begin to let your body relax. You can round your spine. Enjoy the inversion. You can keep your hands on your mat, bent at the elbows, or you can reach for the sides of your feet or even the peace fingers onto your big toes. If that feels good. Continue to let gravity do its thing. Just gently letting your head reach towards the ground. On your next inhale, we're going to release and bring our hands back onto the mat. Bring your left hand to the center line, just under your nose. As you inhale, we're going to twist over to the right, bringing the right fingertips up towards the ceiling, stacking the right shoulder over the left. Option to bring the gaze up towards the right hand or keep your gaze down towards the ground. Whichever feels good for your neck. Find your breath. One more inhale here. As you exhale, we're going to switch up the hands. Just repeat on the other side. Left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Stack the left shoulder over the right. And breathe. Trying to keep your torso nice and straight, one straight line from the base of your spine to the crown of your head. Option to bring your gaze to the ceiling or down towards that right hand, whichever feels better for you. And breathe. One more inhale here. As you exhale, unwind. We're going to walk our hands over towards the right foot, bend that right knee, and pivot that left foot so the left toes are pointing up towards the ceiling, coming into an extended stretch. If you're feeling good there and you've got some balance, you can move away from the palms of your hands in front of you and bring your hands so it's just the fingertips touching the mat. For an added challenge, you can bring your hands to heart center. Breathing nice and deep into the groin area along the left leg. Maybe you're feeling it in the knee. As you exhale, begin to let some of that tension go. Two more breaths here, breathing into this hip opener. Allowing that right ankle to find that flexibility and full mobility as well. As you exhale, you can release your hands, bring your fingertips back onto the mat and slowly come out. Walking your hands this time over to the left foot. We're repeating on the other side, bending that left foot, pointing the right toes up towards the ceiling, trying to extend that right leg to come into the stretch. Bringing some of your weight into that left heel, coming onto your fingertips, or challenging your balance, bringing your hands to heart center. And breathe. Making any micro adjustments so that you can get a little bit deeper into that right groin. Maybe the hamstring, maybe that knee. Feeling that flexibility and strength in that left ankle. One more inhale and exhale here. You can release your hands, fingertips back onto the mat. Slowly come back to center. Again, just pivot your toes in slightly. Bring a micro bend into the knees, hands onto the hips. As you inhale, keep the spine nice and straight. Come all the way back up. We're gonna pivot one more time. This time we're gonna go ahead and face the back of our mat. Coming into the warrior two on this side. So you want the outside of your right foot to be just about parallel to the back, to the front of your mat now. Left fingertips reach out, right fingertips behind you. Align your shoulders over your hips as you exhale. Come into that lunge. Warrior two, second side. Feel that external rotation in the right hip. Inward rotation in the left. Really ground in through the outside of that right foot. And breathe. One more inhale here. As you exhale, go ahead and bring that left arm to the left leg. Reach the right fingertips up and overhead. Open that right shoulder up towards the ceiling. Give yourself some space to breathe. Inhale, engage the core, rise on up. Find the warrior two as you exhale. Inhale, drop that back arm, left fingertips up and overhead, gentle warrior. Open that left shoulder up so that your chest is facing the ceiling. And breathe nice and deep into the left side of your torso. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, find that warrior two. Inhale, straighten that knee. As you exhale, reach the fingertips a few inches forward. Hinge at the hips, come into your Trikonasana. Second side. Working towards stacking that right shoulder over the left. Right fingertips up towards the ceiling. One straight line from the base of your spine to the crown of your head. Continue to keep some space along the left side of your torso. Really work on tucking that right rib cage back down. One more inhale and exhale here. As you inhale, we're going to ground into our core. Come on back up. Exhale, find your warrior two. Inhale, straighten that left leg. Exhale, windmill your hands. Frame that left foot. Let's flow it out. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Let's do that again. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. And breathe. Let your head hang. Feel the deep extension along the back side of your legs, along your spine. Next, inhale, bring your gaze towards your hands. Exhale, hopper step to the front of your mat. You can bend your knees and make your way onto your back. You're going to come into bridge pose. Bend both knees, bottoms of your feet onto your mat. You want to be able to graze your heels with your fingertips. As you inhale, press into your legs. Lift your sit bones, your hips up towards the ceiling. Try to keep your knees at hip distance apart. Lift up nice and high. Option to interlock your fingers and sneak your arms and shoulders under you.
Press your forearms into your mat to get a little bit of extra leverage. Bring your sit bones higher towards the ceiling. Coming into this back bend. Drawing your chest up towards your chin. See if you can lock that throat chakra. One more breath. As you exhale, slowly begin to lower down one vertebrae at a time. Bring your feet to the outside edges of your mat. Knees fall inward to touch. You can bring your arms outside to either side of your body, teed up. You can bring one hand to your heart, one hand to the low belly. We're just going to do a few rounds of breath here as we let our low back release. Let's set up for the second round. We're going to do that one more time. Option to stick with your bridge pose or press all the way up into wheel. So I'll cue to wheel, but there's an option for you to go ahead and just do what we had just done one more time. Again, you want your feet at hip distance apart. Keep your knees at hip distance apart. If you're pressing up into your full wheel, you're going to bring your arms beside your ears. And you want to plant your hands onto the mat with your fingertips pointing your shoulders. Elbows nice and high, pointed up towards the ceiling. With an inhale, you're going to press into your hands and your feet and lift up. Option to bring your weight onto the top of your head first before you press all the way up. You want 50% weight in the hands and the feet. Really use your legs to do the lift. Press your hips up towards the ceiling. One more inhale here. As you exhale, tuck your chin if you've come all the way up. And slowly come on back down. One vertebrae at a time. Bringing the feet to the outside edges of the mat, knees back to the center. And breathe. We're going to bring our arms teed up beside our body. Keep your feet to the outside edges of your mat. Bring your knees nice and wide. Take an inhale. As you exhale, we're just going to drop our knees to the right, doing some sloppy twists. Inhale back to center. Exhale, drop to the left. Let's do that 3 more times at our own pace. Inhales and exhales. Just finding some gentle movements. Not forcing anything. Doesn't matter what it looks like. Good. Let's do some core work before we really settle into some yin postures. If you like a little bit of cushion behind your sacrum, you can sneak your hands underneath your sit bones now. With an inhale, we're going to bring the bottoms of our feet up towards the ceiling, trying to bring your body into a 90-degree angle. Take an inhale. As you exhale, lower the right heel to halfway. Take an inhale. As you exhale, lower the right heel to hover. Take an inhale, rise all the way back up. As you exhale, left heel to halfway. Take an inhale. Exhale, heel to hover. Take an inhale, all the way back up. Let's move both feet at the same time now. Exhale, both legs to halfway. Take an inhale. Exhale to hover. Take a peek at your toes. Flutter kick up and down and up and down and up and down. Engage your core. One more second of this. Come back into your hover. Inhale, legs all the way back up. One more time. Take one inhale here. Exhale halfway. Take an inhale. Exhale to hover. Take a peek at your toes. This time scissor kick your legs side to side, side to side. Just for a few seconds here. Engage your entire core. Bring your feet back to hover. Inhale, rise all the way back up. Beautiful. Go ahead and bend your knees. Draw your knees up towards your chest. Give yourself a tight squeeze. We're going to take hold of our big toe with our peace fingers, and we're going to come into a happy baby. So the bottoms of our feet are facing up towards the ceiling. Your shins are perpendicular to the floor. Your knees are to the outside of your body. Again, you can find some movement in this pose if that feels good, rocking back and forth. You can go ahead and stay in this shape and just draw your weight to the left to get a little bit deeper into the left hip, or you can come into a half straddle, working towards straightening that left leg. Really breathing nice and deep into the left hip flexor, left groin area, left hamstring. If you've come into that half saddle, really breathe. Inhale, bring your leg back into the happy baby. Take an exhale. As you inhale, option to straighten that right leg, coming into a right saddle on this side. If you prefer to stay in the happy baby, you can just bring your weight over towards the right side. That'll help you get a little bit deeper into that right hip flexor. Wherever you're feeling the sensation, whichever shape you're in, go ahead and send your breath to any areas in your body where you're feeling the tension, where you're feeling the sensation. Really breathe. Take an inhale to come back into your happy baby. Again, you can rock it out if that felt good. Go ahead and release the grip on your big toe. Draw your knees back together. Give yourself another hug. Plant your left heel into the ground. Cross the right ankle over top the knee. We're going to come into a reclined pigeon. Reaching your arms through, taking hold of your hamstring or your shin. Breathing nice and deep into this right hip flexor, back side of the right thigh. See if you can draw your weight a little bit more towards the left to see if rolling to the left gives you a slightly different stretch. Try to keep your shoulders and your sacrum flat onto the mat. Using your arm strength to draw your legs a little bit closer to the chest. And breathe. As you inhale, release the hands. Bring the left foot back onto the mat. You can tee up your arms, take an inhale, and as you exhale, we're just gonna drop our legs over to the left side. Keeping the right knee pointing up towards the ceiling. Plant that right foot into the mat. Option to bring your gaze up and over the right shoulder. To get a little bit deeper, you can draw that right foot closer to the left hip, but keep that knee pointed up nice and straight. And breathe. Take an inhale, bring everything back to center. You can uncross that right heel. Just gonna repeat on the other side. Planting that right foot into the ground, crossing the left heel up over. Reach through, take hold of your right shin or hamstring. Take an inhale to lengthen the spine, plant your shoulder blades and your sacrum into the mat. As you exhale, begin to draw your arms, your legs up towards your chest using your arms. Coming into this reclined pigeon. Intense stretch in the left hip flexor and the outside and back of that left leg. Draw some of your weight towards the right side to get a little bit of a different sensation in this posture that we come into so often. And just breathe. Then inhale, release your legs, plant the right foot down, extend your arms to either side of your body. As you exhale, we're gonna bring our legs to the right, planting the left foot into the ground. Bring your gaze up and over the left shoulder. To go deeper, we're gonna take our left foot and bring it closer to the right hip, closer to our body. And just breathe. On your next inhale, bring everything back to center. As you exhale and cross that leg, give yourself a big squeeze. You can go ahead and release and roll over, make your way onto your belly. We're gonna come into Sphinx pose. So from our belly, we're just gonna come up onto our elbows. You want your forearms to be parallel to the outsides of your mat. You can bring your feet wider so that they're mat width apart. Really ground in through the shoelace part of your foot. Align the elbows under the shoulders. Tuck your chin slightly, bringing your neck into a neutral spine. Keep your middle fingers parallel and pointing forwards. And breathe. Few more breaths here. Taking one more inhale. As you exhale, slowly release. Bring your right ear onto the mat, gaze to the left. You can extend your arms beside your body and just breathe. Giving a few breaths for that spine to release. Bringing our gaze back to center. We're going to bring our hands under our shoulders this time. And as you inhale, we're going to gently press up, but we're going to extend our hands in front of us. So sneak your hands in front. You want to have them about 2 or 3 feet in front of you, towards the front of your mat. And then go ahead and press into the palms, extending the arms, coming into your seal pose. So you're grounding in through that pubic bone. Once you feel pretty solid, turn your hands out towards the side, your flippers for your seal. Try not to hyperextend your arms, but do try to straighten those elbows. And again, try to keep that neck in a neutral spine. Give your neck some space to breathe. Keep your shoulders down and away from the ears. Coming into this spinal extension. Continuing to breathe as we settle in. One more inhale here. As you exhale, slowly release. This time bringing your left ear onto the mat, gaze to the right. Bring your big toes to touch, let your ankles fall to the outside. Let your arms come to either side of your body, palms facing up. And breathe. Take an inhale, bring your gaze to center. Bring your arms to either side of your body, tee them up. And as you exhale, we're gonna bend our left knee, draw that knee up to the hip height. Coming into a hip opener while we're on our bellies here, letting gravity do its thing. Option for you to bring your gaze to the left, right ear on the mat. Or if it's available to you, left ear on the mat, gaze to the right. Pick one that feels good for your body today. And then go ahead and settle in. You can close your eyes. We're gonna finish up with a round of yin postures here. The hardest part about yin postures is that need to slow down and tune in and look inward. Come back to your breath. Send every inhale to wherever in your body you're feeling any tension at all. As any thought comes up, acknowledge it and let it go. trying our best to keep our focus on ourselves, on our mat, as we deepen our practice with every session that we come together in. Few more breaths on this side. Your next inhale, we're going to gently come out. Bring your gaze to center and just repeat on the other side. Bending that right knee, bringing it up at least to hip height, if not a little bit higher, depending on how open you are in the hips. Option to bring your gaze to the right or the left, whichever is available to you. Settle in and breathe into that right hip flexor. As you exhale, really begin to let go. Let gravity do its thing. Let yourself be heavy. Take an inhale, bring your gaze back to center, sneak your hands back under your shoulders, straighten that leg. We're going to extend our right arm out, plant your left palm into the mat, and slowly just begin to roll onto the right side of your body. We're going to come into this chest opener / shoulder stretch for the right side. You can go ahead and bend your left leg and plant the left foot into the mat if you want to get deeper. Option to bend both legs, bring the bottoms of your feet to touch if that feels good. If you want to go even deeper than this, draw your right hand either to the base of your spine, or you can find your right hand behind you, interlocking your fingers if that's available to you. Continue to breathe. Try to be gentle with that shoulder joint, but go ahead and use that body weight to get a little bit deeper. Breathe into that sensation. As you exhale, begin to let some of it go. Last few breaths on this side. Your next inhale, release your hands. Gently release, coming out the same way you went in, making your way back onto your belly. And let's repeat on the other side. Extending that left arm, rolling onto the left side of your body with the support of the right palm in the mat. Making your way as deep as is available to you. Again, you can bring your bottoms of your feet to touch if that feels good. You can plant your right foot into the mat in front of your left leg. If you want to get deeper, you can draw the right hand behind you to the small of your back, or you can draw it all the way behind and try to interlock your fingers. Breathing into this shoulder joint. Letting gravity do its thing, but trying to be gentle at the same time. Find a spot where you're feeling a good sensation, a good stretch, and stop there for 3 to 5 breaths before you decide what to do next. Maybe you stay there. Maybe you go a little bit deeper. Maybe you ease out. All of those things are totally okay. Few more inhales here. On your next inhale, gently begin to release, coming out the same way you went in. And making your way onto your back. Flipping yourself over, it doesn't really matter which way your head is facing, but we're gonna come into a reclined butterfly. So on your back, you want your bottoms of your feet touching, knees coming out to the sides. Again, just using gravity to do its thing. This time we're gonna reach our arms up overhead. Keep the shoulders low. You can kind of shimmy your shoulder blades down your back behind you so that your neck has some space, your shoulders have some space. But you're feeling this extension in the underarms, in the sides of your body. Breathe nice and deep into the low belly. Continue to breathe. A few more breaths here. option for you to stay in this shape as we wrap up our time together tonight. Or you can use the next few seconds to get any final postures out of your body. Maybe you draw your knees up towards your chest, maybe you rock back and forth, maybe you find a shoulder stand, whatever it is. Again, you can go ahead and stay in that reclined butterfly, or you can do whatever you need and then make your way into your final Shavasana. There's no rush, we've got a few minutes here. Whichever you are choosing to go with today for your practice, make any final adjustments and really settle into the stillness. Allow the back body to be heavy. With every exhale, feel the back body melt a little bit deeper into your mat. Relaxing every single muscle in your body. The only movement that's coming through is driven by your breath as you inhale, filling up your chest, expanding that diaphragm, making its way into the belly. As you exhale, that navel falls a little bit closer to the spine. Again, feeling that back body get heavy. Begin to scan your body with your breath. With your next inhale, sending that breath down the right arm, right hand, all the fingers on that right hand. Send it down the right side of your torso. Breathe into the right hip. Send it down the right leg, down to the foot, and every toe on that right foot. Now breathe into the left side of your body. Start sending it down the left arm, to the left hand, and every finger on that left hand. Breathe into the left side of your torso, left hip, down the left leg, ankle, foot, every toe on that left foot. Now keep your breath in the low belly. Begin to relax the belly. Relax your abdominals. Relax your diaphragm, your rib cage, your chest, your collarbone. Relax your shoulders. Relax your neck. Release your jaw. Let go of all the muscles in your cheeks, all the muscles around your eyes, your eyebrows, your forehead. Smooth out the space at your third eye. Lastly, relax the muscles around your mouth. Relax your lips. Relax your tongue. And just come back to your breath. begin to bring yourself back into your space, back onto your mat, back into your body. Begin to gently wake your body up, wiggling your toes, wiggling your feet, maybe moving your head from side to side. Tiny micro movements, moving nice and gentle. When you feel ready to come out, rolling onto the right side of your body, resting in that fetal position for a few extra breaths. Again, no rush at all to come out or to move. It's the beauty of these Zoom classes. You can really savor and take your time. Allowing those left nasal passageways to open. Hang on to this stillness and all the work from tonight. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening, a beautiful weekend, and enjoy the full moon tonight. Namaste.